What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Teresa. Welcome to the Dental Assistance Corner. And if you are a subscriber, welcome back to the Dental Assistance Corner. And in this video, I just want to talk about being a new dental assistant. I had kind of debated on whether or not I wanted to do this video now or if I wanted to do it in a few years, because some people prefer advice from someone currently in their situation, some people prefer advice from people who were in their situation. So I'll probably just do both and make everybody happy. Okay, so the first thing and the biggest thing that I want to talk about is that one of the biggest struggles of being a new dental assistant, or really just being new in any job or career for that matter, is that a lot of places want you to have experience already. And by experience, they mean like years of experience, not a couple days, not a couple weeks. They want years of it already, because it makes the transition smoother to just be able to go in, do the procedure, or go in, get the case, go in, do whatever without any guidance. So it's completely understandable. However, it gets a little frustrating because it's like, how can I have this experience if nobody give it to me, right? So, sometimes it can make your job search a little more difficult, because of course someone who's been, doing it for 10, 15, 20 years could probably just, get the job like that. So you definitely, just want to look around. One of the first pieces of advice I have is that you should look for a place that says like 1 year experience preferred, something like that. If it says 3 years required, it's not likely that they're going to, hire you or even give you the chance. I've even had places like email me back and say, oh, we're looking for somebody 3 years experience and you don't have that. Like, geez. But sometimes I'll see that and I'll call the office and I'll say, hey, I see that you're looking for a dental assistant with 3 years experience. I don't have that quite yet, but is it okay if I still submit my application, or is it okay if I still email you my resume just in case? Because some offices may get desperate and are willing to just get anybody they can versus, what they're looking for. So you definitely want to look out for that. And of course, it's not the case every single time. I don't want to make anyone feel like it's going to be impossible for them to get a job, because obviously you can. Some places are okay with hiring someone with little experience or someone who just graduated. Some places specifically look for someone who just graduated. The office that I work at right now actually will hire someone who just graduated, because the dental office I work at was also my school. They held the school upstairs on Sundays. So one of the dental assistants, who has been a dental assistant for over 20 years, was actually one of the instructors, and another one of the dental assistants were one of the instructors at one point, and she does still like to teach. So, if you're able to find anything like that, or able to just find a place that says willing to train, because they do have those as well, or anything like that, you want to definitely go ahead and go for that. The only downside is usually they're not paying as high as you would usually want or be expecting to get as a dental assistant, which kind of sucks. I mean, you don't want to go into a job just for the money, but at the same time, part of the reason why you go to school and get a career, get a, license or a certificate or a degree, is so you can make more. But I mean, you gotta start somewhere. And it can be a little discouraging. It got discouraging for me for a while. I was just like, you know what, forget it. I'm gonna just go work at a restaurant or something like that. But, once you get that, then it really helps out, because I know that I still struggle with some things, and I'm going to be wasting everybody's time if I pretend like I don't, because I don't want to do something like really bad, because some of the materials and instruments that we work with, things can be dangerous. And even if you try to talk about like your internship or anything like that, some places don't even count that as experience, which is kind of messed up, because you are working. You're working when you're interning. You're just working for free. And sometimes they work you harder because they're taking advantage of your free labor. But I've gone to some places that are like, oh, no, you just intern. We don't count that, So, because when you do try to become a dental assistant, one of the things that I'm like 99% sure that you're going to have to do is what's called a working interview. And you're going to be hired for that day, or you're going to be hired for half of a day, and they're basically going to have you do some procedures. They may even pull you to do specific things even if you weren't in that room. Like, let's say you're doing a working interview and I'm with the patient and I'm about to make a temporary crown. Sometimes they'll say, oh no, hey, go get her, go get him, and have that person make it, because I want to see how they make them. And those can get a little nerve-wracking as well, because it's like you don't want to mess up. Because sometimes when I was on working interviews, I feel like, oh my god, if I breathe the wrong way, then I'm not getting this job. So you want to try to do the best that you can, but being that they're watching you, and most of the time they're going to know you just graduated, because it's probably going to be on their certificate, or it's not their first rodeo, so they'll be able to tell or be able to see that you struggled. Or some people come in and they just haven't done it in a while, and I mean, everything is changing. So, they'll kind of watch, and I feel sometimes they can be a little unfair, because it's like, as I said, that one mistake will probably make the difference between whether or not you get hired. So that's just, another thing. You want to try to do your best and try to give it your all. But, anyone can do really good or really bad in one day or in a couple of hours. So, there's probably other things that they base it off of that I just don't know for sure. But it is what it is. Another word of advice that I have is, if you can find a temp service, that would be great. I works through a temp service as well, a dental temp agency. I'm going to make another video talking about that specifically, because it was really amazing. I got to go around and kind of temp at a few different offices, and I just got to learn a lot. The only downside about those is every office is different. Every doctor is different. On top of that, every patient is different. So sometimes, you're being told so many things by so many different people, and some things are just a personal preference, and some things are like a written law of dentistry, and trying to figure out which is which can get a little hard, because I've gone to some offices, or I've worked with some people that are like, no, this is how we do it. Every other office is doing it wrong, and we're the only place in this entire world that's doing it right. And it's like, it's not how that works. So sometimes that can get a little annoying, because you're like, okay, well, just 10 minutes ago or just yesterday, somebody else told me something different. And you don't want to be that person that every time is like, well, this person told me to do it this way. Well, he told me to hold it this way. Well, she told me to do it this way. Because, I'm pretty sure you can imagine how that makes you look, whether that's true or not. So, but you still learn, and you still get that physical experience, because at the end of the day, most people are hands-on learners. There are people who can see something once or twice and just be able to do it perfectly. I'm definitely not one of those people. I have to go in and I have to do it. I can watch it 100 times. I can read it in a book 1,000,000 times. I can take the test. I can ace the test. But if I don't go out and do it, I'm not going to learn how to do it. I'm not going to be able to do it properly. And, when you work through a temp service, it's like, okay, you're working this week. Okay, you're working tomorrow. Okay, they need you in a few hours. They need you as soon as possible. So, that is something, because you're not going in worried about a working interview or worrying about, a regular interview or anything like that. You're just going straight in and you're working. The one that I worked through just did like a phone interview. Some other ones do like face-to-face interviews. I don't know if any of them do working interviews or not, but it, really helps if you're able to do that as well. Another word of advice that I have, which is actually kind of sort of how I found the job that I'm in now. I stay in Michigan, in like the Detroit area, and there's this Facebook group called the Detroit Dental Peeps, and pretty much it's just filled with people that own dental offices or are the manager or the schedule manager dental offices or other dental assistants or other hygienists or whatever, and they'll either post something saying, hey, we're looking for someone, immediate opening, or sometimes they're just looking for subs or temps, or you as a assistant or hygienist or whatever can post that you're looking for a job, and other places will comment. And it kind of makes it wide open because you can kind of put who you are there. I put, hey, I'm looking for a job as a dental assistant or hygiene assistant or dental assistant floater. I don't have a ton of experience. I just graduated, but hey, I'm a fast learner. And this is the area that I stay in, and so on. And people will comment like, hey, well, go ahead and email your resume, or hey, go ahead and direct message me, private message me, or whatever. But my previous instructor, as I said, who's the dental assistant at the office I work at, had just texted me and was like, hey, we have a hygiene assistant position open if you're available, or if you're interested. So I got the message, I texted her, she was like, okay, we'll show up, we'll introduce you to the floor manager. I was like, you need me to come as soon as possible? She's like, yeah. Took a shower, put on my scrubs, and went, and then she told me everything that I was going to be doing. And then after that, I had kind of, I guess you can call it a week-long working interview. It was basically just a test week to kind of make sure that I was going to be on top of my game, that I was going to be clean, have clean scrubs, all of that stuff, that I was going to do what I was supposed to do, basically. And I did. Now, I actually work as a hygiene assistant / dental assistant floater. If you want me to kind of make another video getting more into detail about that, I will. But pretty much I mainly work with hygiene, and if I have everything caught up, then I can go assist. What I'm starting to do right now is just kind of stepping in and saying, hey, doc, can I assist you with this? They're going to say yes or they're going to say no. It just, it's one or the other. But being that they know my situation and they know I want to be there and they know that I want to be a dental assistant, most of the time they'll let me. If it's something that just seems too complicated, they might not, or they'll have me do half of it, whatever. But either way, I'm going in and I'm getting that physical experience that I need, because I truly love dental assisting. Like, I had initial goals to be a dentist, so I found out how expensive dental assisting was. Then some other things happened, and then or dental school was. Some other things happened, and I just decided to go ahead and just be a dental assistant. I'm just going to kind of move on from there, but it is something that I really like to do. And, as cliche as it sounds, there's just nothing better than being happy to go to work. Because if you're going to be somewhere for 8, 9, 10 hours a day, 40 plus hours a week, 5+ days a week, you may as well like doing it. But that just is what it is. I always say I'll probably make a part 2 because I just kind of just think of whatever I can, but I don't want to like ramble on for too long. But I'm sure I'm forgetting some of the things that I wanted to say. But please go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as long as you can handle the 2. Bye.